All right, today is August 8th, 2023. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. I am so happy all of you are here and appreciate everyone that showed up tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about 3 to 10 day options and how and when I use them. First, I'm a pattern day trader. All right. I like to trade patterns. So my favorite indice to trade is the SPY. I just love trading the SPY. I'm pretty good at it most of the time. I'm just gonna dig right into the SPY right now, and we'll talk about it. So here's a picture of the SPY. And can anybody see a pattern developing here on the SPY? Go ahead and answer. It's not a trick question. Can anybody see something developing on the SPY? Yeah, it's got a bit of a rounded top, RB. Yes, it does. I really see pull back the trend line. Yes, that's coming too. Yeah, price might drop down to the trend line. I'm looking at a possible. Can anybody see a possible head and shoulders pattern here? Very good, T. Yes. Yes, I'm looking for a head and shoulders pattern. Now, let me just get rid of those and get my markers. And I see a left shoulder over here. All of this consists of the head. And then I'm looking for a possible right shoulder to form. Do I really want the right shoulder to form? No, I don't, but I can't deny what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a really nice left shoulder, a head that's formed here, and it looks like we're in the process of, this would be the left neck of making the right neck line, neck right here, and then I would look for a right shoulder to form, or maybe a double shoulder with lapels on it right there. So we'll see what happens, but that's what I'm looking for. So when I see things like that, I tend to get ready to trade them, and I can see we're breaking down right here. This is the last low and this is the high. So I like to use my quad lines and kind of measure that off. And I can see we're coming down below this midpoint right here. Now we closed above the midpoint there. Now anytime we close above in the upper third of the quad lines, that's bullish to me. If it's in the upper 30%, for me, that's a bullish situation. And most bull flags tend to, the flagpole will go up, and the flag usually, I like to see it remain in the upper 30% of the quad line move. Now, it's broken up into, 4 equal segments of 25% each. And I don't use Fibonacci or take my thing and measure, calculate. I just kind of eyeball it. If it's like right here or above, this is obviously 75%. So, 70% would be probably, well, just under there. If it stays up above there, I consider that to be bullish. And that's the type of behavior I like to see in all my bull flags. So as I'm looking at this, now I'm getting a breakdown And for me, I'm looking at a downtrend here. So as I look at it, I'm looking for a target right here, maybe before 825, a SPY target somewhere in the neighborhood of 442.50 and 437. Kind of fall right into this wedge right here, and then hopefully pop back up over it and create the left shoulder. Now, if it keeps going and takes out the head, that's fine. But this is what I'm kind of looking for, this price action to happen right here, for this to kind of break down and pop into here, and then kind of roll over, and then roll over again with the lapel, and then we'll see what happens then after we set the neckline, whether they're going to break the neckline or they're just going to remain in a channel over in that direction. But that's what I'm looking for. So you can see, like, you got a lower high here, and anytime you see a lower high, I like to suggest to myself that the pressure is on the bears to produce the lower low. So we've got a lower high, and of course we're now in an hourly downtrend here on the SPY, as you can see, as it's pulling back. Let me see if I can get you a picture of that downtrend that's actually happening here. Here we are. All right, so here we are with, look at it on the 2-hour chart. So here we have the lower high. This is the high, is the lower high. Here's the lower low. Yet again, another lower high, and a lower low, and a lower high, and a lower low. And we possibly have the makings of another lower high. So you can see, as price is trading down here, you can play, 3 to 10 day options, swinging this back and forth in the channel. So that's what I look for, is these channels and patterns that I can play with 3 to 10 day options that will, swing it from one side of the channel to the other, or from the head down to the shoulders, or from the neck, up over to the shoulder. And that's what I'm playing, is these channels and patterns. And that's why I like to use these 3 to 10 day options for the purposes of playing those out. Now, if you see here, my pivot for tomorrow, I'm going to give that to you right now, is the pivot is 447.30, and I know I have it here somewhere. I have one chart where I keep all my gaps, and then I have another chart. Here it is, 447.48, right there, 447.48. That's my pivot for tomorrow, and how I get that, I kind of go into the 10-minute chart, and I look to see where the market is telling me price is important to it. And I have, sorry about this, here it is, 447.30. There's the pivot. These are the open gaps. I like to record them because I see price tend to either bounce off before it or race through it. So I have, this is a picture of my open gaps. If you want to take a picture of it or just watch the recording, you'll have it on the recorder when you watch the video again. So you can see here's the price coming down, and the price is consolidating into this area right here. And this is the common area that I found that price traded around today was 447.30. And how I use this pivot is if price stays above this, I'm bullish. And if price starts trading below it, then I'll be bearish for the day. Now, my favorite setup is a 10-minute uptrend. And by that, I mean the 3 EMA has crossed over the top of the 8 EMA, and their price and the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA are all trading over VWAP. Now, if the cross happens to take place under VWAP, then I wait for a clean candle that's over VWAP, something that is not attached by the wick or the shadow or the tail. I'm looking for that cross that happened under VWAP, but I'm looking for a candle that's cleanly over VWAP and not attached to VWAP by anything. And it can't be a doji candle, because a doji candle means a pause. And it can't be a big tail candle, because that's a reversal. So it's got to be a normal candle. It can't be a big tail candle sticking up in the sky, because those tend to reverse right back down, and price heads back in the other direction. So that's my favorite setup, is the 10-minute cross over VWAP, and I like to play those trends bullishly, and the 10-minute cross that happens under VWAP, I like to play those bearishly. So that's my favorite setup there. So let me head back to, here's our channel, and you can see as price is moving back and forth. And the reason I like to play those 3 and 10 days, because I don't like to wait till the last moment. Does anybody understand what theta decay is? Do you guys know what theta decay is? Everyone knows? I'll just share a brief definition with you so you can see it. All right. All right. Theta decay is when your option price starts to deteriorate at an increasing rate as it gets closer to the expiration date. So I do trade 0 DTE sometimes, but I prefer the 3 to 10 day options, because on the last two or 3 days, those options tend to decay so fast that you lose a lot of value from the position that you got. So I tend to like to trade like anywhere between 3 and 10 would help me get from one side of the channel. Yeah, it's like melting ice. That's right, Trader X. What I like to get from one side of the channel to another side of the channel, or I can see the pattern developing, and I like to give it, ample time to do its thing. So that's why I like those 3 to 10 day options. Now, what kind of options do I like? Well, I find on options, I have more success with options, all right, that expire on Friday. Because on Friday, more options expire on Friday than they do during the week. I have greater success that when they have 500 or greater in open interest contracts. Okay, I find that if they have 10 to 20 cents spread between the bid and the ask, or less, the smaller the better, I have more success. When I get filled at the midpoint, I find I have more success. When the underlying security trades on an average of, 2.5 million shares per day, I find I have more success with that option. The underlying security is in a 30-minute uptrend above VWAP for calls or bullish strategies. Or the underlying security is in a 30-minute downtrend below VWAP for puts and bearish strategies. And I find I got more success when I wait for the confirmation. In other words, I want price to start heading off in the direction that I want to trade it. You know, it's already heading off in that direction. It's already in a 30-minute trend going in the direction that I really want it to go into, that I'm expecting it to go to. Price, CJ, I like to use price. I like to use price and the quad lines. I like to see price break out of like a pullback. What does it mean to get filled? It means when I bid for it, I get filled. I get filled at the midpoint, somewhere between the bid and the ask. That's what it means to get filled. It means the transaction takes place between the bid and the ask, not at the ask or at the bid. Does that help you, T? I like to get filled at the midpoint. Midpoint is somewhere in between bid and ask. Yeah. Is a put better for theta decay? Actually, RB, no, it's not. Because I mean it decays as well. The best form of theta decay that I like is the bull put debit spread and the bear call credit spread. Those are my best options when I'm looking for theta decay. Slippage, it's just something that I try to deal with all the time, Frank. It always happens. Sometimes I have to hit it where it is. Sometimes, you know, I've had slippage as wide as $1. I hate that. You take a stock like AVGO. I mean the bid and the ask can get as wide as almost $4 sometimes. But I mean it's a $900 stock. It's a tough one to get filled at on an option for that one. How do I handle stops on an option position? I just put stops in. Sometimes I get slippage. Sometimes I don't, Joe. I find that if they have 500 or greater in open interest, I get less slippage, and on my stop. All right, so it's going. Yeah, that's why, Frank, I have these rules that I find I get better. I get better trades when I get filled at the midpoint, that the security trades over 2.5 million per day, that the underlying security already headed off in the direction I want, and I'm looking for confirmation. Does that make sense, Joe and Frank? Yeah. Okay. Now, my favorite indicator, my holy grail indicator, this is what I like, is a trend line bounce with confirmation over VWAP. In other words, I got a trend line in, and price bounces at the trend line, and price is moving in the same direction that I want it to, and it's a 30-minute trend over VWAP. So that's my holy grail indicator. I love to find stocks that bounce right at the trend line. No, I don't. I do not look for a minimum gap between delta and theta. They're short-term options. Mainly, I'm just trying to get the direction and get it off. Um, so I don't look for a minimum delta. I do try to, when I'm going for something longer, Mike, something that I expect to take, maybe 30 days, or like I got some UNG calls, and I actually got a bull put spread on UNG, and I just I didn't even look at delta or theta. I just wanted the bull put spread, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I just I sold the sixes and bought the fives. That's what I did for that bull put spread. That's kind of close, but I like to give things time. I do expect things to work off. Remember, these are short-term options. They're not they're not 30 days. I mean, they're not, 30, 60, and 70 days. I do like a 72 delta when I do longer term. Now, I can go over that UNG trade if you like in a few minutes here. But here it is. Here's price, and you can see you're getting the wild whippy action. If you look at it right here on the two, up, down, up, down, up, down. And I just want to show you where this has happened before. And I think it's got it right in through here. Okay, see this wild action that we're getting right here? And we keep making lower highs and lower lows. Well, we had it again over here, and we made higher highs and higher lows, and you can see where price went. It eventually broke out to the upside, and you can see the same thing is happening right now, and that's why I'm looking for this to break down to the 4250 area right on top of. See this battery of candles right there. I'm looking for a price to come like right through that gap. See this gap right here? There's a gap right there. I'm looking for it to come right through this gap and kind of do a little bounce right on top of those right there. As you can see, this should be support right in this area of 443.86. So I'm looking for price to either stab that pretty hard or spike it pretty hard in that area, or possibly even move through it to do the gap fill. So we'll see what happens here. But that's where I'm looking for. As you can see, here's the price action. And we've had the same price action here, making higher lows and higher highs, that wild whippy action that we've had lately. And you can see it breaks out to the upside. Same thing here. Same process, and it breaks out to the upside. Now this one pulled back, and it did the same thing again, and it broke out to the upside. So I just want to show that to you, that this is what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at the same thing right here, and I'm expecting this to kind of pop down through here, even spike the top of this plateau right there. Did I take a 10-minute setup on SPY long today? No, I did not. I did not. I was short with puts. I did not take the 10-minute setup long. I did take the puts short through here, and then I closed out quite a few of the puts right there, and then I started to reload as they climbed back up through there. Yes, that was a really nice trade, going back up. back all the way up to the highs. It was a beautiful trade, Trader X. I'm glad you got it. Yes, it was a beautiful setup. Yes, it was. 10-minute trend up over VWAP. Really nice, all the way up to, I think, what was it, 448.50, 44, almost 449. Yes, it was. I was kind of looking for them to hit the other side of the channel on that one, Trader X, and they never quite got there. And of course, my channel was more like this, and I was looking for my channel was more straight like this, and I was looking for them to come a little bit lower down to this 444.21 area, and I thought they were going to roll it over, and then they started to trade over VWAP, so it went right back up to the upside of the channel. Yeah, the 446 call was beautiful. Yeah, oh, well, it got closed regardless, didn't it? Nice trade on that one, Trader X. So I do have some puts going into tomorrow. We'll see if they want to bounce it around or if they're going to swing it back down here. So we'll see what happens. Oh, you're welcome. We'll see if they're going to swing it back down to the 444 area or if they're just going to bull flag it through here on SPY. So let me go back to, yeah, that was I shared with you the slop that I saw earlier. And let's just go look at FNGU. And can anybody pick out a pattern on FNGU? Anybody? Yep, that's right. Yeah, we got kind of a head and shoulders happening here, don't we? And a broken uptrend. And we do get in consolidation over here. Let's watch for, let's watch this neckline here to see if it's going to hold. If price is going to hold up above it. Now remember, I usually give these trend line necklines a couple candles. I'm on a 2-hour chart here. If we go to the daily, you can see where you kind of get that rubber band effect. As price comes down, it comes back up. As price comes down, notice it comes back up. Price came down, and you notice it's trying to find its way back over this neckline for this head and shoulders pattern on the FNGU. And you have a triangle playing out here. Eventually, one of these trend lines will win over the price action in the near future. We'll see what happens. But that's FNGU. And let's take a look at QQQ. And on the QQQ, what we have here is an M pattern. And you can see we've got a leg up and then an apex down in the middle, back up, and then back down. Now you see this green square right here. This is our battleground area. Usually right at the apex, right through here, there'll be a battle. And the victor will typically emerge on the other side. Okay, so here we have minor support. See these two circles up here? That's the price action that points to the upside. And you can see here's the M pattern that breaks down. It's almost like a head and shoulders, just about, if you count these. If you didn't have this M and it actually rolled over up top instead of coming down here. But here we have a battle happening. And either the victor's probably either going to come out, this way, or it's going to go back up there and take out the top of the head. That's right up here. So we'll see what happens here on QQQ. This is the minor support, and you can see As long as price keeps bouncing off the top of the minor support area, you want to tend to stay bullish. All right. It's when you break the major support, and major support would be this area where the tails point down. So where the tails point down right through here and there, that would be major support. If we break through major support, things will start heading south. Yes, Qs are getting very close to the 50 SMA. The SPY is also Trader X. I do see the SPY coming down to possibly take a have a date with the 50 SMA. I'll pull up the moving average chart here just a second, and here's the moving average. We'll pull it up on the daily, and you can see we're getting ever so close. I mean, that's really kind of a touch right there on the Qs with the 50 SMA. Now, if we look at the SPY, I actually see the SPY coming down here. SPY also could have a date with a rising 50 for the first time. So we'll see what happens. And we've got a little gap fill to happen right there. On the 30-minute chart or on the daily, Richard? I like to see 1 day and a 30-minute uptrend off my trend line. A 1-day bounce, and then confirmation would be the second one with a daily bounce, and then a 30-minute confirmation, a 30-minute uptrend over VWAP. In other words, the 3 is on top of the 8 on the 30-minute chart. Okay, the 3 is on top of the 8, and the price is trading at the 3 or above. And then all 3 of those, the 8 EMA, the 3 EMA, and the price action, all trading over VWAP if it's a long trade. In other words, bullish. And if it's a short trade, everything's trading under VWAP for a short trade. Does that make sense? Richard? Carol, how do I differentiate between minor and major support? Okay, if you're above, let me just pick up. This is a good chart. This is fine. Let me just get a cleaner one, Carol. All right, so let me just take the trend lines off. Just go to a different one here. So if you're above, if you're trading right here, let's say price is at 448.63. Okay, Carol? Yes? We're just going to suppose price is at 448.50 or whatever. Okay, now the spikes that stick up, in other words, the candles that stick up, that would be, this spot right here and this spot right here. That's going to be your minor support. Okay, minor. You're gonna run into the minor support first. Okay, your major support is going to be this spike that sticks down. When you start breaking through there, all right, then things have changed. All right, if price keeps bouncing higher off of minor support, then it is bullish. All right, it's only when it stops. Okay, as long as you want to just continue. It's when it takes out major support, that's when things have changed. Okay. Now, you also have major and minor resistance, Carol. Okay, so see these tails. Remember, you're underneath it now. Okay, resistance is always above. Okay, so see this little doji candle right there? That's major resistance. See this red candle tip up in the sky there? That's major resistance. Okay? And that other candle right there, that's major resistance. Now, the minor resistance are going to be these candles that stick down. So this right here, this area right there, that's your minor resistance. Remember, you're underneath it, so resistance is on top of you. And then you've got this spike right here, right there. That's minor resistance. So as long as you keep bouncing higher off of minor resistance, everything is good. Now you can still bounce higher off of minor support. As long as you keep bouncing higher off of minor support, everything is good. Once you stop, you're going to probably come into an area called major support. If major support fails, then everything is changed. Okay? All right. So this, as soon as they take out these highs up here, that's bullish. Right. Yeah, it's major and minor. Yeah. Oh, you've never called it that. Yeah. Well, that's you neither. Well, that's the way they taught me when I was learning. Yeah. Yeah. Major. When you take out the major, then it's game over. Things then it's no longer bullish. Things have changed. But see, this is every time. Notice where we bounce, we come down. Now let's go look at Apple for an instance here. Okay. So where was the first sign of minor support? You notice Apple didn't have any minor support for a long time. Maybe it only had one there. This is the first sign of minor support right there. See the candles that stick up? See them, how they all stick up? Price action sticks up. That will be your minor support. This is the first sign of minor support. And look where it bounces, right on top of minor support. That's what you want. That's what you want. I mean, it was nice when it was moving up in this tight channel right there, but it's bouncing off of minor support. You want that to hold. Now, where's the normal place for it to come back to first? Well, first would be, notice where the midpoint lies, right at the minor resistance up above. See that, right? See the candles that stick down? That's your minor resistance. And then you got this one that sticks down right here. So you've got minor resistance at the 30% line. Let's just call this 0. It goes back to 30% right there. All right. So if this minor resistance holds price underneath in the lower 30%, that's bearish to me. Okay. Now, if it breaks through that and gets all the way back to the midpoint, notice the points that come down right at the midpoint. That would be an excellent target for Apple right there, to make it back to the midpoint right around 187.85 right there. It had a long way to drop, didn't it? All the way from 197 down to 177 right there. It's a $20 drop. But that's the first sign of minor support right there. And that's why I like to see price go up and then go sideways in a stair-step fashion. But I like to see them backfill, because when you got the backfilling going on, you tend to get more minor support built up, and that holds the price action and keeps it bouncing higher and higher and higher. So there's Apple. So here's Apple, nice uptrend, beautiful uptrend. And it was getting kind of frothy up here. So, I mean, you got a double top right there. So there you can see the double top, then it rolls over right down to minor support. And you can see it's starting to bounce there at minor support. We'll see if it goes back up to the midpoint, if it can make it back up there. That'll be kind of cool. And then maybe fill the gap. And then if it fills the gap, it's right back in the upper 30%. That's just where we want it. And that's Apple right there. So there's a nice trend right there. So something like this, I look to play once I have confirmation, something like a 10, maybe even a 12-day, something that expires on a Friday, back up to the upside. I'm looking for confirmation first, and then I'd look for some calls to swing it back up to the midpoint. Yes, I do use the balance of power quite often. Yes, I do. It's not a reliable indicator. They're very good at duping us, but there are times I've seen divergences, and then the price. See, like right here, if you want to see an example of a divergence, Nicola, I will show you one. So you can see right here, if you look up above, price makes a high, okay? Now, price makes a higher high up here, right? These are higher highs up here than this high right here. But yet the balance of power did not make the higher high that the price action did. You see that, Nicola? Notice the balance of power did not make the higher high that the price action did. Yes, Tom, I will. Okay, so that right there, that's a divergence, okay? That's a divergence because if price makes a higher high, but the balance of power did not, then that's a negative divergence. And that means in the near future, price is going to come tumbling down. And then in which case, here it does. It comes tumbling down because the balance of power is telling you that because it didn't make the higher high than this high here, it made a higher high here, see? But it didn't beat that high in the balance of power. So it's telling you there's a negative divergence. And as you can see, it took about 30 days and then it came tumbling down. You see how that works? All right. And then, you see the green? When mine turns green, I've got it set up to turn green. When it's green, that's money flowing in. When it's red, that's money flowing out. Okay? See, when it's green, that's money flowing in. And when it's red, that's money flowing out on the daily chart. And you can set it up to do that. Major and minor resistance. Yes, Tom, I can hit that one more time. I do have it recorded, but it's in pieces. Okay, see these? Okay, see this circle right there? See that? See these points that stick up? All of this, okay? That's support, okay? That's your minor support right there. I'm just supposing that, you're up here. This is where price is, okay? It's above this. It's support because it's below you, all right? and it'll be resistance if it's above you. Okay, so resistance is above and support is below. And it's always been that way. Okay, so now if we start blowing out these points that stick down, okay, this is your minor. You're going to run into the minor section first. If we blow through these and then we start trading into major support, major is underneath minor. Okay, we start trading through major support and we start breaking through major support, all right, then things have changed, all right? We're no longer bullish. Things are rolling over. You understand what I'm saying? This is minor support. As long as we continue to go up, pull back, go up, pull back, go up, pull back, go up, pull back on minor support, it's bullish. When minor support no longer holds and major support no longer holds, then we're going down. The VWAP is not on this chart, but I have it on this chart right here. Right there. Actually, let's try this one. See the brown line? It's right here. This is the VWAP. Okay. And okay, so Tom, so you got major and minor, all right? So now let's talk about major resistance. We're going to go back to Apple for a minute. Okay, so what's major? Let's say you're in Apple. What's major resistance? Okay, major resistance is your all-time highs. See that peak there? That's your major resistance. That's your major resistance. That's your major resistance. All these spikes that stick up, that's major resistance. The spikes that stick down, that's minor resistance. Right there. Right there. Right here. See that little tail right there? Right there. That's your minor resistance right through there. Okay, you break through the minor resistance and now you're attacking major resistance. After you take out major resistance, you're flying high. You're making new highs. Okay? I don't use an anchored VWAP except on one chart, Joe. That's the only one I use it on. So I don't talk about that one because I don't use it very often. But I do have one chart with anchored VWAP on it, and we're nowhere near where my anchored VWAP is on SPY. That's about the only one. Oh, you're welcome. That's about the only one that I monitor. Yes, if you use a simple chart without anything on it, typically like this one right here, it's very easy to find major and minor. You notice, like, if you take a look at the SPY, all right, and SPY moves up, you know, it moves up, then it comes back. You see how it comes back and it tests. This would be minor support. See how it comes back and tests minor support. Then it tries to break out, and then it comes back and tests minor support one more time right here. All right. And then it moves into a flag formation. And then now this area up here, see this plateau of candles right there, that becomes the new minor support. And as you see, price comes down and checks minor support, bounces up, makes new highs. Now this would be the major resistance. I'm just supposing none of this is here. Okay. And now it comes up and it breaks through. This would be your major resistance right there. Okay. Because it's not, you're already above minor resistance. That's your major. And then it continues off into new highs. Now notice it makes a new high and it pulls back where almost right on top of these plateau of candles right there. That would be your minor support. Now this becomes the new minor support. And then after bouncing off minor support, heads back up to major resistance up here, comes back down, tests the minor support right here, and then moves up higher. As long as we keep bouncing higher off of minor support, we're going to remain bullish. Does that make sense, people? Trader X, you meant the line chart? Which line chart, Trader X? Yeah, you've got it. Green miners. Yes, that's a great explanation right there. Except that top one up there at the very top of your example on this right up here. This would be major resistance up there. That would be major resistance up there. And I'm just saying if you're here, this would be major resistance. This would be minor resistance right there. If that helps. But that's the way that I was taught. How do I differentiate between major and minor? Minor is what you're going to run into first. Okay, let's just take the SPY and let's just go to a 15-minute. Okay, you see these candles that stick down? Okay, they're the first. Let's say you're underneath it. You're down here at the midpoint. They're the first thing you're going to run into are these spikes that stick down. And then what do? They went up to an area right here. See it right there? Notice on the crosshairs, you see how that candle went up? It hits minor resistance first, okay? That'll be the minor resistance that it hits first. Notice it can't make it through the minor resistance. So now it heads back and tests the lows. If it cannot make it through the minor resistance, it will head back down and test the lows. And it made a new low. And in the process of making a new low, it went back up. Okay, so now it goes back up. Now it tests, it's back into the same area. See right here? You're back into the same area you were before, testing the minor resistance. It failed to make a new high. So what does it do? It makes a new lower low. All right. See, as long as we continue to make lower highs, the pressure will be on the bears to make lower lows. See, this is showing you that the bulls can't get it done. Right here. See this? All these lower highs and lower lows. The bulls can't string one, a set of, 4 downs and go 10 yards. All right. And the major resistance is up above. It's up above the minor resistance. And the major support is below the minor support. Okay. Does that help, Raju? Okay. Tell me you got it, because I'll go through it again. Did you really get it? Okay. Yep. Major. If you break through major, you're going higher, right? I mean, that means the Bulls won. If the Bears break through major support, then the Bears won. Yeah. Okay, so let's go through a few charts and we'll pick out patterns and you'll see how I look at them to play them, all right? So I'm going to go through the first one. Microsoft. Okay? And let's go to the daily. What do you see on Microsoft? Because I'm going to wrap this up here. Broken daily uptrend, head and shoulders. Everybody see it? See the neckline? Everybody see it? And then I'm going to take questions. Right there. Head and shoulders. There's the neckline right there. Okay, you're looking for this neckline to fail right there. One candle doesn't comprise of a fail. Yeah. Okay, you got an hourly downtrend starting right here. See this? Right there. You got a channel. Try to stay within the channel right there till the channel breaks. So you got a channel coming down. I like to play the channel with the 3 to 10 DTE, right? Those options right there. Give it some space though, okay? There's Microsoft. NVIDIA. Uptrend is breaking. What do you see here? This is an M pattern. All right, this is what I'm seeing. Doesn't mean that that's what it is, just what I see. All right, it's an M pattern. All right, this right here, this box, this is your battleground right there. The victor emerges on the other side. Okay, it's not always a bull, it's not always a bear. It could be either one. All right, after the battle, the victor will emerge on the other side. There's NVIDIA, M pattern, battleground, and the victor will come out on the other side. It may go up, it might go down, but we're going to find out soon. All right, that's your battleground there. Same with your W patterns. When you get right there at the apex, there will usually be a battle right there where the apex lies, and that's usually where the support is. So they're testing that support over and over and over. Okay, so there's NVIDIA. I'm going to run through these quickly, then I'm going to get some questions. Okay, let's go to Amazon. All right, what do you got in Amazon? It's an uptrend. It's no trick, just an uptrend, possibly setting up a head and shoulders, but it's an uptrend. Play it from one side of the channel to the other side of the channel. Right there, Amazon uptrend. All right, Apple uptrend. Play it from one side of the channel back to the other side of the channel. All right, still in an uptrend. As long as it continues to bounce off the minor support, all right, then it's in an uptrend. Google. No trick, just an uptrend. Possibly setting up a head and shoulders. All right, possibly. Doesn't mean it. It is. Got a head here. and then a possible shoulder here, possible head and shoulders on Google. But it's in an uptrend. Play it from one side of the channel to the other. That's what I like to do. USO. That's an uptrend. All right. Right now you've got a W pattern playing out. You got down, you got up, you got down, and then you got back up. And right here in the box, you're getting a little bit of a battle right here. So let it flag out for a little while, and then the victor will emerge on the other side. It's either up or down right there. All right. So that's USO, now AVGO. AVGO, uptrend. Got kind of a W pattern playing out here also. And we'll trash that. You got down, up, down, up. And now you've got a battleground right through here at the apex. And again, the victor will come out on the other side, either up or back down into this channel right here. So there's your W pattern there on AVGO. ACN long. I will take questions in just a few minutes, Raju. I'm going to run through these big cap stocks so everyone can see what I see, and maybe I see something different than them, and maybe I don't. Maybe I see the same thing, and maybe that's what they wanted to see. Let me just run through these real quick, okay? All right, XLF. Uptrend. It's still working. One side of the channel to the other side of the channel. As long as we keep bouncing off minor support and making new highs, it's bullish. XLF. Meta. Clean uptrend. As long as we keep bouncing off of minor support, making new highs, it's in an uptrend. That's a pretty one, isn't it? From 100 to 300. Right there. Now notice what it's running into, Raju, right here. What are the tails sticking down? That's your minor. Remember what I said. That's your minor resistance, is the tails that stick down. And the major resistance is all of this up top here. So let's take the crosshairs and see what we're running into. See where we're getting a stall? Right into minor resistance right there. See where we're stalling? Right there. Right into the minor resistance. It was blowing right through this for a long time. And now we're stalling at the minor resistance. Okay, so that's Meta, uptrend. SMH. SMH, nice uptrend, swinging back and forth. Swing it from one side to the other side. Try to stay on this side and go bullish. Working bearish on a bullish stock doesn't usually work well for me. But notice it's in the upper third. Okay, that's what I like. Price action to stay up in the upper third. As long as it stays up there, I'm bullish on the stock. That's SMH. Nice channel right there. All right. TLT. This is something you might not have expected. Broken uptrend right here. Looking like the beginning of a possible inverse head and shoulders right here. Looking like the possible. We'll have to watch and wait to see what happens. This would be the left shoulder, the head. Watch for the neckline to get produced somewhere around there, right here, and then the right shoulder to form. Okay, so watch TLT for a possible inverse head and shoulders. Nothing's confirmed yet. Nothing really there to play. on the bullish side. There's nothing bullish about this at all. So just watch it, but eventually that might play out. You trash that. And the next one, IEF, downtrend right there. Comes back up, trade it lower. All right. Where is it bouncing? Off of the major support. See it bouncing off the major support? Major support. These tails stick down. Okay, comes down, hits the major support and bounces up. All right, bouncing off the major support twice here. Watch this for a possible inverse head and shoulders as well. That's IEF. XLB. All right, XLB is an uptrend channel right here. This is a W pattern. All right, on the W pattern, comes down, goes up, comes down, comes up. Notice the battleground right here. See the square? Price action, and then the victor emerges on the other side. Right there, XLB, W pattern, breakout. Now it's coming back to test support. That'd be the top of this apex. So this is XLB. Look for stocks like FCX, Rio, maybe AA, maybe some steel, some aluminum, some copper. Look for those to continue in this uptrend right here. Right after we test this 82.12 area and try to make a new high. All right, XLB. Nice bullish trend there. Next one, FCX, which I was just talking about. All right, FCX, uptrend channel. Play it from one side to the other side. Notice it's in the upper 30. Look where price came down to. Price moves up, comes back to the midpoint or the minor support. See where it bounces? This is your minor support, right? Right here. See those tails that stick up? All those tails that stick up, minor support. Price came down and then ripped right off of minor support. That's a pretty big igniting bar right there. All the way back to the midpoint. Notice that. If it trades up over the midpoint, that's really bullish. So price comes down, it immediately is bought up right at the channel line and the minor support. Boom, boom, like that. FCX, igniting upper bar. Okay, that's it. Those are the majors that I wanted to go through. I wanted to touch base on those. Now I'm going to go to questions. All right. And I know somebody asked about one up here, ACN. ACN. ACN is bullish. You got kind of a triple top up here. All right. Let's just draw trend lines in. And if we take the quads, this is your low. From this low, you're staying in the upper third. That's bullish. All right, now let's just check them from one more low. From this low, you're still in the upper 30%. See how price is up there still? Now we take them from this pullback. You're remaining in the upper half. Everything is still bullish about ACN. Nothing bearish yet except for these lower highs. Okay? Notice you got kind of a wedge pattern building out there. All right? You notice this is the top. Notice this is where you're having trouble breaking through. It may have to trade all the way over here into September before finally breaking through. This is ACN, all right? Give it a little bit of time, give it some space. As long as it stays over the midpoint, just give it some space, let it do its thing. All right, Raju? Yeah, AVGL major divergence setting up. I'm going through. Question next. SMH also negative divergence. Now you make me want to look. Thank you, Trader X. Oh, yeah. And what was the other one? AVGO. Yeah. I think AVGO, if it can hold on to this area here, it goes to 1,000. It's been having a rough time right here. You got kind of like a W pattern kind of playing out here. One here, there, back up. And now right here at the apex, right through here, you've got that battleground right through there. Eventually, somebody's going to come out on the other side. I think this is going to fail to make a lower low, and it's going to J hook to the upside. Watch for that to possibly play out. But wait for confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Just because I said it's going to J hook doesn't mean it's going to work out. You know, wait for things to turn around and the bulls to step in and get you 51%. Okay, trash that. Yeah, well, RB, I tried to record it, but I ran out of disk space, so something I got to fix. So minor support, the tails stick up, major, the tails stick down. Yes, Tom, as long as you're above it, as long as price is above it, yes, the tails that stick up is the minor, the major is the tails that stick down. Fred, where do I see UNG going? Higher. I see higher. It's in the W pattern right now, Fred. It's going to take some time. You've got this, see right here, back up, back down, now back up. Now this is your battleground. Eventually, the victor of this battle, they're gonna do battle, and the victor is going to wind up on the other side. It's going to emerge right out the top of this channel or the bottom, one or the other. Right there. It looks like they failed twice on the bottom, and they just keep grinding up at the top here, that overhead supply. I see it going higher, but you know, I've seen some strange stuff happen, like barrels of oil sell for minus $20 a barrel. So, you know, follow the price action. Carol, AMD seems to be consolidating. What do you? Let me look at it. AMD is in a channel, yes. Carol, I like to measure it off. As long as it stays above the 50, I really like it when it's like in this upper third, right up here. When it stays in the upper third, that's where I like it to be bullish. Right now, it is bullish because the bulls are keeping it over the midpoint, but it's not till we get up over 120. Am I going to be interested in it or play the bottom of the channel to go higher? They're running out of time. You can see the trend line. They're coming into it soon. So they're going to have to make a decision. I wonder what the moving averages are doing. All right, so there's the 50 rising up over it, and here's the 100 coming up underneath it. And it looks like it caught the top side of the 50s, pushing it down. So it may have to come down, hit the 200, and come back up. We'll see what happens if it can get back on top of that 50. I really like it to stay in the upper third, but just because it's in the upper 50% doesn't mean it's not bullish. It's still looking good. Um, it's been since May, the end of May to the end of July here. It's had some time to consolidate. So this 100 may be what the saving grace come up and boot it back up in there. Um, Neither one now that it's running out of time with the with this right here. You've got the 50. I don't see a clear pattern. You know what I'm saying, Carol? I don't have a clear pattern. If it was in the upper third, I'd say the bull put spread. Um, but you could still do it with the bull put spread with the 50-yard line right here, the midpoint being your go no go point of contact right here. The bull put spread at 107.24. That would be the most logical for me. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, the bull put spread, as long as it stays over the 50-yard line. If it breaks the 50-yard line, then it's game over for it. All right, for that one. Going back up, Carol says IBM. IBM's bullish. Got a higher low, making a higher high. Needs to cool off. Like to see it. This is your minor support right there. And you have some minor support right here. These humps right there. So you can see where price went up. Carol came back and notice it didn't really connect on anything other than these humps right here. See these spikes that stick up there? As price came down and then bounced right off of that. And that's this support area right over here. See how like stuff that's 8 months ago, that happened 8 months ago, winds up being minor support. So you've got some minor support there and some here. IBM is bullish. I would look for it to pull back. Actually challenge this up here. Oh, you're already into it. Yeah. And now you're into this minor resistance right now. It's doing good. I would look for it to bull flag. Something like that would be, good bull put spread right there. Look for this to bull flag for a couple months, maybe even a month. It's a nice looking chart, Carol. I like that one. What if price hangs out at 85% of the quads, 3/4? Can you buy before that breakout as is bullish? Yeah. Yeah, you can. I like to buy the bottom of the bull flag, KG. Yes. I like to buy the bottom of a bull flag and the midpoint. I see a bull flag. I like to buy the midpoint and the bottom. Yep. Tom, how do I set up BOP? I actually have a video, Tom. If you go to my library over here and it's coming up. Okay, it's this one right here. July 20th, combo room. No, that's not it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, I know where it is. Hold on, I know where it is. Let me see. Are you Tom? Whose room are you in, Tom? Because I'll get it to you. Are you in someone's room? Or are you not a member yet? If you're not, can you email me? I'll send it to you. You're in no one's room? Okay, Tom. Do this. All right. Come on over here to files. See images. That's my email address. And you can make it short and sweet. Hi, my name's Tom. John, would you please send me the BOP setup? Okay. All right. Just email me right there. You don't have to make it nothing. You don't have to be cordial or anything. Just email me, John. Can you send me BOP setup? And I'll send you the video. I'll tell you the minute and the second, and you'll see how to do it. All right. CJ, just add it to your chart and then add MAs on TC. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, on the UNG. Yes, I like that'd be a great time for a leap. And KG says wedge pattern. I'm not sure which one trader KG is talking about, but that's all right. If he cares to go around quadrant, how far do I go back? Raju, from a low to a high. All right, so right here, see this low on IBM to the high. All right, so watch this. You're gonna love this. If you don't have this yet, look where price bounced, Raju. It came right back to the midpoint. See the midpoint? And the bull stepped up and said, nah, not today, and pushed it back up higher. See that? From the low to the high, right up there. Now, where do we go for the next leg? You move it out from the low to the high. Notice where the midpoint is, right on the minor support. See the minor support that sticks up? Right there. If you go to the SPY, notice where the minor support lies, where the midpoint is. Let me get a clean chart. Let me just delete this. Hold on just a second. All right. Here's the low. Right here. And then there's the high. Well, here's the low, and then there's the high. Right there. So watch this. Okay. Remember those three candles I was talking about that made that shelf? Look how the midpoint is right there at the shelf. Look where price bounced today, right there. The low, 445.27. Where's the midpoint? Like 445, probably 50, right about there. Right on top of the minor support, right there. See that? From the low to the high. See, it went up, makes the leg up, and then pulls back. From this low up to this high. Now you can go back as far as you want, but I take them up in legs like that. Does that make sense? EVGO above 6 looks good. Your thoughts? Broke weekly downtrend line with the cradle pattern. EVGO. I don't see a broken downtrend yet. I use the highs right here. Yeah, I don't see a broken downtrend yet on EVGO. And you might be using this, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong. I like to draw them all in. If you're like me, I show. I can't ignore this one. Okay, this one still exists, but this one, yes, they broke through this downtrend right here. But there is still this one right here, and obviously between the 200, the falling 200, and this, it's still suppressed price right there. Not till we recover 51% of this right here. Am I bullish? Not till I get up over 583. Once I start trading up over 583, I'd be bullish. Until then, not so much. But let's look at it another way. Here's the low, there's the high, and you're trading up over the midpoint here. Just be careful on this one. That's a big tail. It's about $1 tail, I think. 80-cent tail right there. Okay. It might need more time. All right. Don't be surprised if it does. I do like the balance of power, though. That looks pretty nice. I don't know if it's going to sustain that. But look, it did make a high, but it didn't make a higher high than this. But it's still up at 100. Just be careful on this one. Above 6. Yeah, above 6. Yeah. You know what? I read it fast, Trader X. And I love your input. Yes. Above 6. Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right. I love it above 6. Yep. Yeah, that is a big cradle. Yep. Yeah. Yes, that's what you said, and I wasn't thinking. Yep. Right over 6. I like it over 6. Gotta go. Thank you, John. Yes, Carol. You have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. All right. Any other questions before I wrap it up? All right. That's it. I want to thank everyone for being here. I hope you got something. All right. Again, you got my email. You can email me anytime. I don't care if you're not my member. I love to help people. Thank you, Mike. I hope you got something. Everybody, have a wonderful evening, and thank you for being here.